Every time if you hear the term, the luminosity mask, and if you don't understand it, there is no problem. There is nothing wrong with your life. You will be just fine. Only thing you have to do is to make sure that you do your immediate correction. For example, the basic lens correction, for instance. And then you would be thinking, hang on a second, I do have a lot of options right there. For example, you do have Smart Super Select, which is fantastic. You're supposed to use artificial intelligence to make sure that everything is selected automatically. Fine. What about the making brush? That takes a lot of time, and it does exist before somewhere else. What about more option? But I don't even know what does it even mean. Then essentially, let's say you have this bright sky and you have the foreground and you have the structure, and you don't know where the hell is luminosity mask, literally, which in my opinion should be somewhere here, literally written luminosity mask, but it's not. Because ON1 thinks that we are all smart and awesome. That's nice, but they're mistaken. I, for instance, don't know where the hell is that, and sometimes I feel like I should call police for that. Right. So you click in go to the local and click adjustment. Now, immediately, you do have this properties thingy and a little brush. So you're saying, what I supposed to do with all that? Again, where the hell is luminosity mask? Why people don't make this kind of shit super easy to understand? I just want to edit my bloody photo and then move on with my fucking life. But no, it's not going to be that easy, is it? So in that case, hang on a second. In that case, you can have two options, or another option. So you have these properties, you have the masking, and if your photo is contrasty enough like that, you are in luck. Then the AI should be able to find and select everything easily. For example, foreground, background. Hang on a second. Background. There is no foreground. There is all background. So that's not good. But then again, architecture, fantastic, is selected as it should be. So you can do that. You can do the flora. You can select the natural background or the sky. The mountain, there are no mountain, especially apart from in this little area. So that's an automatic option. What if the image is not been selected automatically by those options? What if it's not working out? What would you do? In that case, you have the second option. Second option is that you can go to this button at the bottom, turn on the luminosity mask, make sure the luminosity mask is visible. Now it became black and white. Now you must be asking yourself, hang on a second, I was not looking for a black and white image. I could just do that by reducing the saturation. Why this is black and white? I just want my goddamn luminosity mask and then that's it. I'm not asking for a face mask, just a luminosity mask. Why is too difficult to understand for people? Well, I thought the same. Then, just to make sure, is that if your image is super bright in the black and white, this is where the effect going to be applied. The dark area won't be impacted. Now, what that means? Let's take off the mask option. Now, if I zoom in, let's say you want to reveal the shadow in this rock. Just that. Nothing else. Nada. Everything else should be remained as it is. In that case, you could make sure that it's visible, then play with for example, the sliders. Now, if I do the densities, become completely white. Now, it doesn't make any sense. Feather, making it blur, you need a glass to take a look or not. You maybe have to go see a doctor. Or you play with the level. So level is making it more dark. No, you want it more bright and everything else more dark. So in that case, I'm going to play with the density, but it doesn't really work, is it? It doesn't work. It's making the shadow area more shadowy, bright. And let's see. So it's making it everything kind of white, not just the shadow area. Maybe the window. Aha! Now we are going somewhere. Now we're going somewhere. Now we're going somewhere. Now we're going somewhere. You see, now if you look back, the shadow area became white and bright area became dark. And now, but that problem is that it's also selected the window because it's also shadow area, but that's fine. You can paint out those things, but that doesn't work. So I'm going to Control Z. But for now, we're going to play on something. I'm going to turn on the exposure. You see? Do you see what is going on? It's trying to reveal the brightness of the shadow area. Problem is that they have no information, but it's possible. That's my point. What if I do the shadow? For example, I'm trying to bring the shadow. Again, there is no information, so there's no point to try to bring the shadow back. Before, you see, there are no options, so we cannot do much, unfortunately. See if I double click. See, it doesn't work. But at least my point is, it's possible. Now, as I said earlier, it's also selected the windows there, which I didn't want. In that case, what I could do, I could go to the top slider, click erase, and probably erase it. But problem is that my fear is that, is it going to erase everything? Ah, there you go. Perfect, 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 perfect. So I'm going to erase the area that I don't desire. It doesn't really work. That's a shame. Ah, there you go, because of the opacity, I guess. What if now? Aha. So now it's working quite well. It's not very responsive. You can see that it's taking time, but that's fine. You have to click it repetitively and it might work. So anyway, my point is that the luminosity mask, I think you got the idea globally. It's essentially, if I start from the 0, you can go to an image, you go to local, you add an adjustment, immediately it will show you the masking option, and if you are lucky enough, it will select all the necessary area. But if you're not lucky enough, in that case, you have to click the light bulb, turn on the mask, it will show you the mask, and then either you play with the density, feather, level. Now you can actually invert it. For example, you can invert the image, and then you can do the same way. For example, if I do so, for instance, now my foreground is pretty bright. The sky is kind of. And then if I concentrate everything, take off all the sky, and then in the window area, I can make it even more precise. Doesn't work. Doesn't work either. So, okay, there you go. Let's not push it too much. And then it selected almost no sky, but after that you can refine it by clicking erase, and probably you can do that. And that's 2. Now you can now show the actual image. Now if I do the adjustment, for instance, it's making the foreground darker or brighter without affecting the sky. So you can do that. But it's necessary only when the automatic part of it, for example, here you have the super select or other automatic options, they are not very useful. In that case, the luminosity mask is a fantastic tool. You can individually, make it completely dark and then just apply where it's necessary. To be honest, Affinity Photo does the same thing. I'm going to finish the video with that. You can just use the Affinity Photo and do that. Other software can do that easily. I find this part in ON1 a slightly bit more difficult for no reason. I don't know why. It's just my opinion. However, the ON1 automatic version, though, automatic masking, is quite handy. So I recommend you to use that instead. Hopefully you understand the luminosity mask. Hopefully your life is, I don't know, less miserable now. Look after yourself, and bye-bye.